Hello, welcome to another video. Today we're not going to be doing essential writing tools. Instead, I decided I want to talk to you a little bit about the project that I'm working on that's going to be coming out, I would say, within 2 years if I'm lucky, if the publication process goes smooth enough, which most likely it won't. But I just wanted to make this video anyways and talk to you a little bit about it. So the title of my upcoming project is called Abberwall, and it is a dark fantasy Victorian horror story featuring heroine Commissar Madeline Oldbarrow. The setting is a sprawling city divided into 6 precincts, the largest one being Westfirth Precinct, where the majority of Act 1 takes place. Madeline, or as her close acquaintances call her, Maddie, is a commissar for an elite policing force known as the Order of the Hawk. The Order exists to protect Westfirth and the entirety of Abberwall from a plague that ravages the city. A violent form of advanced tuberculosis that devolves the host into a series of brutal shakes, burning fevers, and fits of anger. Virtually incurable, the individual that contracts this ravenously dangerous disease is taken from the city, away from the populace, and left to wander the dark wastes, slowly losing the last remains of sanity. That is, if they weren't shot on the spot. The infected are labeled as rots. Then, one night, the darkest of all nights hence, the cold night descended upon Abberwall, a night which sent the plague and all those afflicted into a frenzy of violence and gore. Rots that were seemingly weak and frail at first suddenly developed a cursed strength and a desire for the shedding of blood. Like a heightened form of vampirism, they sucked the blood from their shocked victims, draining them in mere moments. The Order of the Hawk lost 2 precincts during that bitter cold. For 26 hours, chaos reigned in Abberwall and its precincts. Then, the dawning sun came, and the citizens of Abberwall were able to kill and beat the rots back. The city was able to breathe a sigh of relief until it happened a year later, this time costing Abberwall 4 more precincts. The darkness was thick, and strange creatures moved in the shadows that were worse than the rots and had never been human. The cold night was random and unpredictable, leading the surviving populace into extreme measures of bloodletting for the prevention of the spreading of the plague. The Order of the Hawk was too afraid to reclaim any of the precincts back. Our story begins in the final surviving precinct, Westfirth. The last cold night happened over 10 years ago, but rumors abound of a great evil returning to Abberwall, and the citizens never forgot their fear or paranoia. Hanging by a thread, Westfirth tries to fend for itself through the resources in Abberwall's deep mines. But time is running out. It all changes when Madeline stumbles upon a creature that defies all logic and reason. A creature that resembles a human but can turn into a bear-like rat beast at random, known as Galgaliel. Madeline goes on the hunt for this devilish creature and uncover its origin, only to discover a conspiracy against the king, orchestrated by the king's brother, the Duke Nathan Blackmore. One night, the king is found dead, and Madeline is blamed for it. Forced to remain silent and stand by to witness the faking of her own death with the aid of the Duke, Madeline has no choice but to obey Nathan Blackmore and his cunning plot. The only way to escape the hangman's noose is to travel to the farthest quarantined precinct and kill the leader of a satanic death cult known as the Priesthood of the Graves that seems to be the reason for the occurrence of the cold nights. Madeline, thrown into the mix with a naive but eager young lieutenant and an old vampire, the 3 are meant to team up with the abomination Galgaliel and kill the leadership of the Priesthood of Graves. They, along with a platoon of men of the Order, fly on board a dirigible to the farthest quarantined precinct known as Colthell Precinct. But then, the cold night descends on the city of Abberwall, preventing their escape from the precinct. Will Madeline and her men make it safely back to Westfirth Precinct? Will Galgaliel succumb to her beastly nature and kill them all? Or will the Priesthood of Graves find them and make sacrifices of their corpse unto their cursed serpent god? Find out 2 years from now! Well, actually, it's possibly more than that, seeing as the nightmare of publication is far worse than the darkness of any cold night. Some of my inspirations include Bloodborne. Primarily, playing that video game really made me want to carve a story in the Victorian setting, and the concepts that are introduced there are so new and original and fresh that Hidetaka Miyazaki came up with, and I wanted to kind of do a story along the similar veins. It's very much heavily inspired by that, and a lot of the imagery in the story can be seen that way. But I'm also inspired by The Order 1886, it's another video game, but also H.P. Lovecraft's stories. Playing the video game Bloodborne made me want to research and delve into H.P. Lovecraft's world, and it's amazing. It's horrific and extremely mind-blowing. I'm also using Dan Abnett's Eisenhorn series and Ravenor series as inspirations for my story. So far, I'm almost 260 pages in. The first draft is not yet complete, but it will be towards the end of this year. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about it because at the beginning of next year, that's when I intend to go into the beta phase and start looking for beta readers for that story. Now, if you don't already know, I've also published another book. It's called Knights Without Kings, and it is a dark fantasy. And you can purchase it on Amazon, available on Kindle and paperback, and the link is going to be down in the description if you're interested at all in that. If you like this video, give it a like, hit subscribe too if you want to keep our updates on this particular story. I will be getting updates as I write along. I mean, I think I want to be posting progress updates every once in a while for this story that I'm very much heavily invested in, and I love the characters and I love the setting and I like what they're doing. It also terrifies me what they're doing sometimes, so I mean, that's just the life of a writer, right?
Stuck in my cage. You cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. You cannot miss what you have never seen before. But deep inside you know there must be more. But I could not follow.